Okay. Go ahead and use your individual lines while you're not talking. We're going to have some sharing to open up the call. But I wanted to first, and this is something that we, as we're doing our smaller group calls, are really being intentional about starting the call with. So we want to start this call going forward in this way as well, which is to have a few of you share what your intention is, either for this week, for the call tonight, what your intention to get out of it is, but we're going to start to create the space, the energy of the call, and start it off in a high vibe way. So I want to hear from maybe 2 people. What is your intention for tonight or for your week, however you want to phrase that? And you can just go ahead and jump right in.
Okay, I think I blew out all my adrenal glands today talking to Lisa Vanderstelt. Seriously, I felt like I was high. I was so excited. So I did post my goal is Crystal Director by March 27th, and I actually can see it. I talked to Natalie last night, or we were messaging, and I said I couldn't see after I watched you guys get to Crystal Director on the call. I was like, I'm going to believe it. I don't see it, but I'm going to believe it. I think I'll be Crystal Manager before I put my head on the pillow tonight. So that's my intention.
That is unbelievable. Congrats and thank you. What a great share to start off the call. I'm feeling your vibe all the way from here. One more person I'd love for you to share. We could probably take 2 more. What's your intention for the call tonight or for your week? Just go ahead and jump out.
Hey. Okay, so my intention is phone calls only because I'm just over the Facebook messaging. So it's just not fast enough. I actually tonight I kind of posted something about that in executives, and I have had chaos. My septic system is all messed up, so we're showering at the gym, all of us. It's just no laundry. It's kind of crazy. But I went to the gym and I was like, well, in between this, I'm going to make some phone calls. And I sat down in the cafe and made some calls, and I got 3 conversations scheduled this week. And actually one of the people, I didn't have her phone number on me. I had to run out, and she was in my group fitness class tonight. So it was perfect. So I just kind of stopped her and talked to her and scheduled it right there on the spot. So that's my intention, is all phone calls, phone conversations, calling people. I just, I need to get on the phone with these people. Yeah. So that's kind of it. So.
And that creates such a different energy. Your voice carries through, your excitement carries through. I love that so much. Okay, we're going to take 1 more, and here's specifically what I want. Someone who right now wants to create the tone for their week. Maybe your Monday was just like a Monday, right? But right now, you're going to set your intention just out of pure creation for your week, and it's going to go differently from here because you say so. 1 person. Oh, don't make me make Elliot share.
Dawn's going.
Yay, Dawn!
Thanks, Dawn.
So I've had some health issues over the last couple weeks, and I'm about mind over matter, right? I'm going to use my mind to tell my body what to do. And so my intention is I no longer have health issues. I'm strong, I'm powerful, I have high energy, and I feel good. So that's my intention for this week.
And you have great hair.
Thank you.
I love it so much. And you guys, that is such an important tool for us to all remember that we have. We can change how we feel, our experience in any moment that we want to, all by setting a new intention for that moment, for that day. And tonight, that's going to really carry into the topic that we want to have everyone collaborate on, right? This is a team huddle, meaning, we're going to have some conversation starters, but we want to have a lot of interaction, Jocelyn's doing some karate moves. You could absolutely do karate if you feel compelled to do so, but we're going to talk about breakthroughs. And here's why. We're bumping up against the Crystal Manager deadline. We've got people who have thrown down the gauntlet and said, I am Crystal Director on or before March 26th. And in order to achieve these goals is going to require you to be someone you've never been, meaning you're going to have to break through something. We don't always know what that's going to be, but we can share from personal experience. Anytime we've rank advanced, anytime we've helped a team member rank advance, it always, without fail, requires a breakthrough, and you will always be tested. And I know there's been some things happening in people's lives this week to test them, and just know you are not alone, and that is a sign that this team is gearing up for a breakthrough. Because things would not be happening to test us if we weren't gearing up to do something big as a community. So keep that in mind in the back of your mind throughout this call. What might be your breakthrough to have? What are you bumping up against that's challenging you? And so we want to dive a little deeper into some of these conversations. So I'm going to actually pass it over to Jocelyn and Michael, and you guys can create in whatever order you want to some of the other things we were going to chat about.
Yeah, okay. Well, I guess the first thing that Natalie and I wanted to start off by sharing is, our experience of going Crystal Director, one, and like what that was like for us, but even more so, what was going on beneath the surface or behind the scenes, or what it actually took, or what the action steps were that had it then come in place for us to even be in a position where we could go to Crystal Director in the first place. So let me just rewind to closer to the beginning of the week. We knew it was there. We knew we wanted to go for it. And then Lisa called me. And the conversation I had with Lisa was, she was pretty much inviting me to do it in front of everyone. So let us publicize or make public what you and Natalie are doing, which totally freaked me out. And I was like, okay, well, now if we don't make it, it's not only going to be like an upset or a disappointment for us, but everybody's going to know that. So totally freaked out by that. But I'll come back to that later in the conversation. So we had a conversation for making it public. So going Crystal Director, but doing it in front of everybody. So a couple things that we really did early on in the week was comb through my back office. I've enrolled a lot of people, and Natalie and I together now have enrolled a lot of people. And so there were people who were in certain positions to contribute to us going to director that we just had to find. And one thing that I did was I literally went to a person that every single one of my people had enrolled and made a personal connection with them. So most of them friend requested them on Facebook. As soon as they accepted me, I sent them a message letting them know who I was, why I was reaching out. I'm friends with so-and-so who introduced you to Isogenics. And really just that opened us up. Like it opened us up to everybody that's there. Rather than coming from like, where's it all gonna come from? Where is everybody at? How are we gonna find it? It was like, okay, well, here is all of this. Now we just got to sort it out. So we go into the week and we're at Super Saturday, and literally we have 2 consultants at Super Saturday, which by the end of the day is about to be 1 because somebody's about to fall off because of 1 point. And we're like, how are we going to do this? How our grouping there, but it's like, just don't see the way, right? So Jocelyn's driving me to the airport from Super Saturday on Saturday. We get to the airport and we're sitting in the car and she's just like, all right, let's check in. And I'm like, no, I couldn't just get out of the car. I couldn't just leave. She's like, all right, let's check in. Where are you at with everything? And I just knew like part of me had already given up. Part of me had evidence for and had looked at what's so right now, what's already in existence right now, and was like, looking at what's already there, I can't see it. Therefore, it's not going to happen. Which wasn't the truth and isn't the truth, obviously, because it did. But for me, that's how it was. And she was like, well, you just have to decide. I was like, okay, great. That's awesome. Thank you for that. No evidence or evidence to the contrary. Like, please enlighten me, you know? But she's like, you know, you just have to decide.
Well, and I asked him real quick, if I could just interject, I asked him, what's a time where you remember in your life you decided something and it really came through? So it's important for you because you do know what it's like to decide something and the switch in your mind that happens. So for you, tap back into a time in your life where you decided something. Like when I decided I was getting into nursing school and I was going to get into the top 5 nursing school in the country, that decision altered my behavior. So I could recall that brain, that brain switch. So same thing for you to check in because you do know what it's like to really decide.
Yeah, and when she asked me what I actually thought of was my
Oh,
it's okay.
Thanks.
What it actually made me think of, Natalie, was our relationship, where I decided that we were going to be in a relationship. And I was like, okay, well, I have decided something and it has worked out for the best. And so I can just do that again. So I'd had these conversations with a few people, letting them know where Natalie and I were at, what we were up to this week. So we had planted these seeds with people that were going to be in key positions to go consultant. And we had let them know that this is exactly what we needed for them to do that. So towards the end of the week, it really just became, all right, check in. Like, is this something you can do? Is this something you will do? Can you contribute to us in this way? And I think for me, that was one of my biggest breakthroughs in this time period, was really asking people if they would contribute to us. But to go back to, I got out of the car after having decided, and one of those people reached out to me and said, okay, this is happening. Like, we're doing this out of the blue. Like, the universal thing responds, like, I decided. She reaches out to me, says, okay, we're going to go consultant. And it's like, all right, it just opened me back up. All right, this is on. So I'm flying to San Francisco on Saturday to go have dinner with Natalie's parents and then drive her car back from Napa Valley to Scottsdale all of Saturday. And it was literally like I was on the phone the entire trip, for one. I had calls with Natalie, checking in. She had calls with people. She would call me to check in and say, this is how it went. This person's enrolling. And man, what do I want to say?
There was a lot. I got to see a lot of it. It was fun.
It was just
I'll step in. So my experience with watching Michael, it's really what we were just saying, that he at some point 2 days before he had to make it happen, he said to me, he's like, I know it's going to happen. He's like, I don't see it at all, but it's going to happen. And so for me, even when he said it to me, I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. But then he even told me, he's like, I shared it with Jocelyn, and she's like, you just know. And so that's what he did. He just created it from not even being able to see this vision, but knowing that he had to do it. And to me, that was so powerful. You have this goal that we have a month to do, and he just did it in 2 days. And it really made it possible for anybody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Totally. And it really was like that. Like, okay, just decide. And then to point to what was actually going on, like, we had people looking. I wasn't the only one combing through my back office. Like, I partnered with Lisa. I partnered with Jocelyn. They were going through our back office and really looking at, all right, what's there? What do we have to work with? What are our next moves? So while I might not have been able to see it, Natalie might not have been able to see it, Lisa and Jocelyn, who had been there before, could see it. And it's not like it was 100% like, do this and then we produce that result, but it was there. Going into it, we had an option of creating really 7 consultants. 6 turned out, but we had an option for 7. And a lot of the conversations, like I said, were really just, we didn't have a lot of time. So it's not like I was catching up with people in their lives. I care, but in that moment, it's like, that's not what the priority was.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, hey, how are you? This is why I'm calling you. And it really was a straight invitation for people to contribute to us and participate. Like, you're participating and contributing to us accomplishing something awesome. And I created that. It's not even only about us. We're doing this for an entire community of people. And in doing that, the person who I was speaking with really felt that they were actually contributing to this community. They were doing something awesome. And it wasn't like, hey, now I'm going to have this turn out. It's just like, you're in a prime position, in a like perfect opportunity to actually have this turn out for us. Will you contribute to us? And definitely everybody but one person said yes. And so it blew my mind how much that people want to participate and how much they actually want to contribute to us being me and every single person on this call. And we're just like, we're going to do it our way. I'll create it my way, and you can participate to the level that I'm comfortable with.
I would also, if I could add one quick thing, seeing his performance, because really seeing it from the outside is really powerful. And I know, like, Lindsay posted a good question here about how many conversations do you think you had? I wanted to ask you that one thing, but also part of this breakthrough, he also was really sharing with people the value for them in being a consultant and beyond.
That's right.
So it's really important for all of us to know how to present the value of being a consultant, which is really a big deal. The amount that you can make residually being a consultant is amazing. So that's something just to highlight as well about, you're presenting to people the value of what it means to them, what they would earn, letting people know, numbers help people, being a part of it as well.
Yeah, that was another big part of partnering with Lisa and Jocelyn, in that we could look and see, okay, if this person went consultant, this is exactly how much they would earn. This is exactly how many times they would cycle. So that conversation, I could say, like, this is what's in it for you. Not only do you get to contribute to us and be acknowledged for that, but then you get to earn, my mom, she cycled like 6 times, you're welcome. But otherwise that wouldn't have happened. But then she gets to have that experience. And who knows what will become of that, her having that experience, But yeah, stepping into those conversations with the exact numbers of what's in it for them. And each one of us is capable of doing that. Like, that's not difficult.
Right.
All we really have to do is look.
Yeah. So how many conversations do you think you had in 2 days?
He had so many. He didn't even have time to talk to me.
It was a couple of days. For anyone who's new on here listening, is that with these runs, especially from manager to director and director to executive, it really does come together in a few days. It's like you really it's seed planting. Okay, something's growing, and it really comes together. I mean, Lisa, would you nod your head if you agree that in probably the last 5 days is when stuff really comes together for these goals? So it's not like you're for 6 months on the phone all day long. It's not like that. It's really like seed planting, and then maybe a couple days where your ear's a little numb, a little bit.
Well, the reason why we had so many people to talk to and invite to participate was because of how many people we had already invite. And so, I mean, there's a time of planting and there's a time of harvesting. And, the whole reason why we say 2 looks a day is for that. It's not only for that, because obviously you're enrolling people and having people go consult all along. But then when it comes time to really go for it, which is whenever you say it is, not when the deadline is, whenever you say it's time to go for it, that's when it's time to go for it. Then you have that pool of people that you're not cold calling people. You have freedom to have direct conversations now because they know what you're up to, or at least have a context for it.
So what's your invitation to everyone?
I mean, Look, I was scared. I was scared. Lisa, in my internal dialogue, was not a yes. Let's just put it that way. And I know that's probably true for other people too, but I just want to know who actually has a real desire. Like, whether you're scared or not, let's set that aside for a second. But who actually has a real desire to hit director by the deadline, by March 27th?
Yeah, Rachel.
Like, for real. Keep them up. Don't be scared.
I'll do too. And does anyone not know what director is? It's okay. Raise your hand if you don't know what director is. Oh, Rory's raising his hand. We have people on the ground over here because Aaron's getting some treatments for his back right now. So Crystal Director is where you have helped 6 personally enrolled, then helped 2 people. And that really is an amazing breakthrough in just really expanding beyond yourself. It's really incredible. And the bonuses for that are $750 for that just director bonus, on top of the $250 manager bonus, on top of the $100 you get for every consultant. So I'd have to do some math, but that's about $3,000, I think, or something. Yes, Lisa?
The other reason that we have set the dates for March 27th, and this is really important, is that is the start of the next leadership pools. And so you have the ability for the month of April to make up to $2,500 in just those pools. For those who go for it, we're as a leadership team, we are gonna like surround you. We are going to pour energy and love and look at your back office and do all those things with you to help you earn that sort of money. Now you've got to make the decision and you've got to do the work. But as a leadership team, we're going to be right behind you to make sure that you have every support you need. And my gosh, I mean, wasn't it the most fun that when you did it, knowing what you can accomplish is stepping to the next level? And the other thing that I really want to point out is the 4 people that Michael and Natalie created as consultants in 2 days. You have 4 weeks. They had 2 days. The 4 people they got to consultant, they may not be the people who really blow this out. They may be, but they may not be. But it's all the other people who came in during that and what they're doing now and who they've stepped into being because of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest part, is who they've become because of it.
Just to add to that, it might seem like it's on your shoulders or it's about you, because it did initially for us too, but the thing is, like, it's not. It's literally for everybody else that will come after you, and literally for the story that you're creating. Like, we won that game of hitting Crystal Director, and we will never not have that story. In every conversation that we have with people, it comes up now because it's like so present for us. It was you, and people are really responding to that because now there's an energy of like, look what we can accomplish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing, both of you. Natalie, are you raising your hand?
Yeah, I was just going to say, just to finish this out, it was a text that I got from Michael on Sunday, the last day to make this happen, when he was having doubts. He texted me in the morning. He said, "Today's the day." And I was like, "Today's the day for what?" And he's like, I just totally was not thinking. But then he goes, "Just so you know," like, he's like, "Babe, just so you know, this isn't for us. This is for everybody else." So his inspiration came from helping everybody, all the consultants, what they were going to get from this, and then everyone else in this group. Just so you know that sometimes when you take yourself out of it, this contributes to the whole team. That really got him going.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Such a good way to cap that out, Natalie. Thank you. And yeah, you guys are just rock stars, and they really did it. They were really thinking about you all. They honestly were like, let's go and let's like have everyone else go with us. So that's the invitation for you all. And just inside of that, really fulfilling on that, we wanted to cap this out with the events available right now to be inviting people to. And so Wednesday, the virtual event, what is better than people having access to something from their computer, from their phone? So that opportunity, I really invite you to utilize that, both for inviting your guests, but also for hitting director to empower your teammates or even guests. You can have at least 2 people with them. Imagine if every opportunity that's available, you have at least 2 team members with 2 friends or family. You could be going manager every week or more. Like let's create that as like the normal. So really leveraging Wednesday, Lindsay and Elliot are leading that. People can hop on from their computer. Lindsay's going to be posting after this a short little script in the business page that she's been sending to team members so that they can send to friends and family. Wouldn't that be cool to have something that your teammates can send to friends and family? Yeah. So Lindsay's going to post that in the business page in a minute. And then the same virtual opportunity is next Wednesday. So really use these 2 weeks we're doing this so that you guys can really fulfill on your goals. But really think your guests, think layers and layers deep. That's really where you're going to have this really thriving business. And you don't even have to say, hey, do you want to do the business? Invite 2 people. It's not about that. Have people see the power of their family being healthy, their community, their coworkers. It really does inspire people into action. And then really in the last minute, the event that we always want to keep present for you and for people that you're bringing on is celebration. And that we're going to mention events at every call that we do, but celebration, we really encourage you to see what you can work out to be there, not only for yourself, but for your team members. Imagine having at least 3 to 5 team members there with you. Celebration is going to have Tony Robbins. It's about 15 to 18,000 people from around the world, people from Colombia, Mexico, Australia, Singapore. It's such this multicultural event. It's so incredible. So those are the 2 events we really want to highlight this week and then in August, just because that takes more planning. But that's going to be a game changer. And then Lisa mentioned the most important thing probably of all of this, you guys. The mint shake is coming back tomorrow. At least there's rumor, and very strong rumor.
It's confirmed.
It's confirmed. Okay, good. So with that mint shake, not only order it for yourself, because that literally will probably sell out in about 12 hours, because it's the most amazing tasting shake of all of them probably, but also did I say mint chocolate? I think it's mint chocolate. Let all of your team members know, send text messages to people, because and so that's a way to really, boost your team up this week and create some excitement. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you too for sharing, on this call. And raise your hand again if you're going for director. Awesome. And thank you for everyone new hopping on. I love that you guys are inviting people to be on here. This really is a space that you can invite brand new people. So keep it up. All right, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Bye, guys.